I posted on the NDP Racial Gilmore chat.
We are paying attention and we are interested, right, folks? So we are inching closer to the March convention when New Democrats will choose Jeremy Singh's successor. But an even more important deadline is coming up in a week. That is the membership sign-up deadline on January 28th. I'm sure you guys are going to hear a lot about that from the candidates in the next week.
And this is my drawing.
The ballot for the next NDP leader will have to have an active membership with the NDP by that date. So that means candidates are going to be racing to get their supporters signed up before it's too late.
And this is my drawing of Ramboo, who died, my beautiful budgie.
People vying for the precious membership votes in the hopes of helming the NDP is AviLewis. He is a veteran journalist. I mean, this guy talked politics for Much Music back in the day. And he's also a documentary filmmaker. He's also an associate professor at the University of British Columbia and has a history of deep involvement with efforts for bold, climate-focused societal change, from the LEAP Manifesto to the Green New Deal. Now he's seen as one of the frontrunners in the NDP leadership race. He's got a message of tough talk for billionaires and unabashedly progressive ideas. For
the NDP should be communist, Orthodox Trotskyist, or Marxist-Leninist.
Rob Ashton, who has accused AviLewis of dividing the party. Was that the first time anyone in an NDP leadership race has done anything but violently agree? Anyway, all of this has been...
The data. There's too much of it.
That's okay.
Today's guest, AviLewis. Welcome to Bubble Pop.
What a great intro. Violent agreement. Stay tuned for more violent agreement in the NDP leadership race.
Literally, Nathan Cullen coined that, and he is not wrong. It really is I think he said it in 2011, and it continues to be true. So, Avi, I want to hear your elevator pitch, right? You got all of Canada in an elevator with you. It's a very large elevator, apparently.
Dodger Stadium, Saturday, August 22nd, and Sunday, August...
is what actually sets you apart from the other folks running for NDP leadership?
I think when we launched our campaign in September, we just went out with bold solutions. And we've been leading with ideas, with proposals for actually addressing the crises that we face, the everyday emergency of just trying to get by in a rigged economy, the cost of everything.
So now you know. And the animal symbol of the NDP is the parakeet auklet.
Minds with very straight talk and very clear solutions. And, we came out with the proposal for a public option for groceries because Galen Weston...
Orthodox Trotskyism says communism is good.
And the price of the ridiculous, absurd price of things in your basket at the grocery checkout. And, 3 weeks later after we launched, the Globe and Mail devoted its Thanksgiving Monday lead editorial to explaining to Canadians in its way, in its tone, of 30,000-foot reasonable condescension, that this was an absurd idea and couldn't possibly work, and there are much better ways to have competition that were all kind of tweaks to the current system. So these ideas have actually provoked debate. They've stirred a lot of excitement at the base, and I think from a Canadian Green New Deal to public options and housing and cell phones and groceries, we'll get into more of the details, I'm sure, in our conversation. It's really been the ideas. And maybe one other thing that distinguishes our campaign a little bit from the others is that I find myself saying regularly, it's actually not about me. Yes, leaders, we need leaders, and leaders have to lead. But if we're talking about the party, we're doing decentralized, distributed organizing, where we really reawaken and re-empower our base, it's really about what we can do together. None of these things, from universal health care to the 8-hour day, none of them were won by the leaders. They were won by movements of people acting collectively and surging in popular power. And that's what we need to win. And so de-emphasizing the cult of leadership, I think, is something that is a little different on our campaign.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of that's sort of against the grain in modern politics. If you think about it, so much of the campaigns that we have seen have really focused on the leaders in a lot of Western democracies and failing democracies as well. But before I get on a total tangent with that, I did want to hone in a bit more on your ideas. And I'm glad you brought up the mail example because I want to touch on that sort of response.